fence expert. Who's that guy in that orange shirt? Who must be the fence expert? It's almost time to talk about the fences. It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's time, it's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge, it's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. Here we go, we're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, Fence fam? So good to see you guys again. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're watching here, you're watching me on either YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or you could be listening to the recorded podcast, the recorded version of this live at a later time, and I appreciate that also. If you're listening to the recorded podcast and you'd like to watch the show live, tune in on either Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or now I've got TikTok running as well. So wherever you follow me, you could watch me there and interact real time. Drop your comments drop your questions in the comments of any one of those and they'll show up. Love to have you guys. And it's like a podcast. Every podcast I listen to just blatantly asks for 5-star reviews. So if you listen to it and you think it is worthy of a 5-star review, I would love it if you gave it one. It helps the channel. It helps the reach and all the good stuff that podcasts want. So it's funny how like some terms of service on some platforms say you can ask for reviews, but then others, if you ask for a review, it's against terms of service. And I don't know, teach their own, I suppose. Let's go through here and say hello to everybody. Then we'll jump into comments and questions. Actually, we've already had a good question over on TikTok, so I'll probably bring that up as well. So if you're watching on TikTok and you have a question, drop them in the comments, and I'll answer it here in just a second. All right, let's go through and say hello to folks. Jesse was the first comment of the day. Jesse Lloyd from Olive Branch, Mississippi. What's up, Jesse? How are you? Stevie's here with us. Good afternoon, Joe and all the fam. He's coming in from Ireland. Welcome, Stevie. Did you get the hats? Inquiring minds would like to know. We want to make sure they got to you safely. I'm just happy we were able to get them across the pond to you. So let me know what you thought of those. What is up, Josh? Aloha Fence says, woo, back from Cabo, now in Heber. I bet that's a bit of a shock for you from Cabo up to Heber City, Utah. Deep Rock Fence Company, howdy all the way from Houston, Texas. What's up, Deep Rock Fence? Waiting in line for barbecue while we watch. I'm jealous of your barbecue line standing self. Texas barbecue is pretty good. Line standing self. Did I say that? What's up, Fence Genius? Beautiful morning here in Washington State. Hello, Mr. Knudsen. Aloha Fence says, let's talk post pounding today. Do you have a cost breakdown of hard cost roughly? How much more is it to pound a post? And what about time savings? How does that factor in? Very loaded question. Incredibly loaded question. So I tell you, the person to ask about this is going to be Sean King, Mr. Fence. So he's doing the testing. He's doing the data. Actually, I think, well, today's Saturday. He might already have been rolled out of, he was down in NAFCA. Was at Sebring, Florida, I believe, helping them instruct on how to build aluminum fence. His section was aluminum fence. So he's got a lot more of the data. In our area, we don't pound a lot of posts. Obviously the new iPosts, we're going to give those a good college try. For whatever reason, we've got large chunk and some cliff rock. We're kind of a mixture of rocks. We tried pounding, probably a year ago, year and a half maybe. We tried pounding Postmaster steel post, Postmaster Plus steel post, and got a pretty decent rejection rate. It was over half, so say 60% rejection rate in a few different yards around our service area. Our thought was, well, if we've got to have concrete on the truck anyway, if we're setting 40% of the post or so, or 60% of the post, if we can drive 40% of the post, I don't know if it makes sense to have both setups on the truck for any given project. But that being said, the iPosts, the aluminum iPosts that we've rolled out or we're rolling out are more substantial than a Postmaster post. So I think they've got a better chance of penetrating the rock and breaking through it because it's shelf rock, it's chunk rock. It's kind of a mixture of rocks, but I think these are more substantial to either punch through the shelf rock or move the chunk rock out of the way as they push through. So we will know more shortly. Bo DeVore says, morning, Fence fam. Checking in from Oregon. What's up, Bo? How are you? Appreciate you tuning in. Matt is saying hello to Aloha. Hey, Aloha. Isn't that funny? Hey, Aloha. Those are kind of the same thing. We're saying, hey. Matt Larry says, he sent a sign yesterday. I'm guessing to Aloha. But if you send it to us, we will also put it up. Jeremy, what is up? Morning from Fort Worth, Texas, where it's nice and warm. Jealous. It was 25 degrees out this morning when we went to the truck, or when I went to the truck, and that was just a bit chilly. So not fantastic. David Cooper says, besides staining, are there any complementary services you suggest a fencing company offer to add revenue? So we've got a few. So we offer retail wholesale sales. So we'll sell to the public. We'll sell to contractors. We sell to contractors at a little bit better price because they buy in higher volume. But we sell fence materials here out of the lot. We have for as long as I can remember, since my dad bought it from my granddad in the mid 90s. We picked up a retail sales license. It really wasn't that hard or tricky or anything. You got to track sales tax, but you've got the material anyway. You might as well sell it. Staining is always a good one. If you've got space on site, pre-staining has really done well for us. It's another service that separates us from our competition. So it's funny. We've been doing staining for years now. And we've had some independent stainers to compete with, but none of the fence companies until last year. About this time, we were at a lawn and garden show, and I noticed one of our competitors is now staining on site. They teamed up with a stain company to stain on site. So anyway, pre-staining is a pretty good option. If you've got an inside spot where you can do it in all through the year. So yeah, we're actually pre-staining a pretty good project now. So whether it's 25 or actually Monday, we're gonna start it on Monday, so it's probably gonna be a little bit nicer. But whether it rains or it's cold, snow, whatever, you can still pre-stain. Retail wholesale sales has been good to us for a long time. So if you've got space, if you've got an area for the public to come in, that's definitely a good idea. Great question. Stevie says they're in the local sorting office and will be with me Monday. Okay, good deal. Just checking in on that. What's up, Alan? Alan's with us. Good morning. Can't wait to see everyone at FinStech. Yeah, Alan's fortunate in that FinStech is in his backyard. I am fortunate, and I am jealous of his fortune to have it in his backyard. We've got to travel, but it's not too far. I think it's like 5 hours from here somewhere. Not bad. We're actually going to be talking about events coming up just in a little bit. Alan says, love those hinges I purchased recently. Glad you like them. Glad they worked out well for you guys. All right, I think we're caught up on comments, so let's jump over to we're all caught up on TikTok too. So, guys, if you're watching on TikTok, if you have any questions, let me know. Let's see here. Actually, there's a couple good questions on TikTok so far. Jake had asked, how do you get a 6-foot dog ear pine double gates from twisting? Twisting is going to be a tough fix, right? So if you guys watch, you can search for Mr. Fence on Facebook, Sean King on Facebook. If you're set on doing wood built frames, he's got a pretty good wood frame system set up to where it supports. They like to swing on them after they get done, just to show that these things can hold several hundred pounds. I don't know that it fixes it, but Nationwide Industries does offer a tool for sagging gates. So think it's a long threaded rod. So think like tie rod on a vehicle, kind of, in that you would install it. You would on one side on the bottom corner, bottom hinge corner of the gate, up to the top latch corner of the gate. And then it's got a macro adjustment to where you get it tight-ish. You get it as tight as you can on the big adjustment, and then you twist it for a fine adjustment to force that top up. It brings your gate out of sagging. I don't want to say into true because it won't address twist as much as it will sag, but it brings it up off the ground to where it will swing a little bit freer and clearer. And then it sets in place. So then once you've got that, it's all steel. Once you've got it set in place, it's not going to sag. You can continue to adjust it if needed. It's a pretty slick product. So you want to check that out. Stevie says he's going to model one of the hats on Instagram. I will watch for that, Stevie, for sure. All right. The next question was King Humble had said, do you have any recommendations on finding pre-stained wood? He lives in Chicago. I had recommended reaching out to some of the larger fence companies. So we were talking about retail wholesale earlier, just a few minutes ago. And you can generally find fence companies in your area, the larger ones at least, that sell retail wholesale. If they're large enough to sell retail wholesale, they likely have a connection already with a national supplier. Most all the national suppliers have a pre-treated lumber option. I would go that. I'm more inclined to push you that way towards the national wholesale route, rather than sometimes the big box stores will have them. In a market as big as Chicago, I'm sure the big box stores have access to them. The problem is the pickets are going to be pretty thin. They value engineer is a kind way of saying that they value engineer a lot of their products to where they can maximize profits, but the product you get probably isn't the best. So if you're looking for pre-stained fence pickets, check out a local fence company that is selling retail wholesale. They would probably have access to a higher quality pre-stained picket. So, yeah. And then we had someone from Minnesota. I don't even know how to say the username on TikTok, but from Minnesota, Arrow Fence out of Minnesota says he's ready for winter to be done, and I couldn't agree anymore. But I mean, here's the thing: here in just a few months, we'll be complaining about how hot it is, and we'll be wishing it was cooler. So, that is life in the Midwest, I suppose. There are a few fortunate folks out there in like Southern California. It's like, I don't know what these guys are complaining about. It's beautiful all year round. Speaking of California, we will be there. What is that? 3 weeks? Maybe a month?
Yeah, I think 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
3 weeks to a month. We'll be in Southern California for social media marketing world. I always get that tongue twisted because it's put on by Social Media Examiner. We go out there. I go just as a participant, just to sit and watch, be in the crowd, and try to soak up as much knowledge so that when I'm going talking at other events, I'm a little bit more knowledgeable and I'm more up to date with what's going on with all of the current platforms. Because let me tell you, there is so much going on in the world of social media that for one person to try to stay current on all of the platforms, not feasible, I don't believe. Now, we dabble, right? So you guys, if you're watching here or watching us either on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or you're listening on the podcast, if you're watching here, you're watching us on TikTok. So we participate in several of the platforms, but we rely on others to be experts in their field. So like YouTube experts, Facebook experts, that sort of thing. It's a great time to go and be around the experts in those industries and learn best practices and tips and tricks from them. So we'll be there 3 or 4 weeks. But before that, so next week, we're going to Staining University that's held outside of Nashville, Alexandria, Tennessee, I believe. We're headed there Wednesday, I believe. The Staining University is Thursday and Friday. We're heading up Wednesday. We're going to drive this year because we're going to take some video gear with us and get all set up. We got set up at a Airbnb somewhat near where Staining University is going to be held. So we try to shoot some video content while we're there. I don't know that we're going to do a live Q&A next Saturday. We'll just kind of play that by ear on what's going on and where it's going on. So Staining University is Thursday and Friday. Saturday, most everyone is headed home. So we'll see. We're going to be in town Saturday. We're not coming back to Springfield until Sunday. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But if you're in the fencing industry, if you're thinking about wanting to take on staining, or if you're already staining and you're looking to hone your craft, you don't want to miss it. So it's held every year. It's a completely free event. All the staining universities we put on throughout the country. So last year was kind of a big year for on-the-road trainings. All of them are always free. You get a ton of good advice. And I think that might be a misconception people have, is that just because it's free means there's not going to be a bunch of value, like the whole you get what you pay for thing. And this is one of the very few exceptions in the world of you get what you pay for. So now you do still have to pay your way to get there. You have to, your travel expenses, your lodging expenses, your meals to some extent. We'll talk about that here in just a second. You do still cover that. So it's not entirely free, but the training itself is free. I feel like we get I talk about marketing, specifically video marketing on social media platforms. But then when I'm not talking, I get to be a participant in the crowd. And I feel like I get a tremendous amount of value. And I've been going every year for the last several years. I continue to get good value. And so this is something. So Caleb and I have had this conversation on, if you were to charge for the value, this would probably be an $800 or $900 ticket to go be a part of this for a couple days. There's others out there that are significantly more expensive. So it depends what you compare to, I suppose. But we open it up for free because the people that really need this the most are probably the ones that can't afford a $800 or $900 ticket plus travel plus lodging, right? We're trying to help out those that are just getting started in the industry, or maybe those who haven't started in the industry yet but are wanting to start on a firm foundation. And then, of course, all the veterans show up as well. We've got, I don't want to start naming names because then we'll be here forever, but it tends to be a who's who of the guys you see active in the staining Facebook pages on a daily basis. They're there as well because they understand that you have to continually hone your craft. You have to continually sharpen the blade to remain on the leading edge of your competition in your area, your industry in your area. So that's coming up next week, next Thursday, Friday. I believe we got the link in the description below. Is that right, Braden? Link is in the description of our YouTube. You want to drop that link in the comments for LinkedIn and Facebook. That way everyone can have a link to sign up. We do ask that you sign up so that we know how many people are coming. Last year, it was standing room only because we had a significant amount of people show up day of, which is fine. We're not turning anyone away, but it helps us plan for how many people are coming. How many chairs do we need? How many tables need to be set up? How many people do we tell the food trucks to set up for lunch? That way they know how much food to bring. I mean, no one ever wants to run out of food. And then Thursday night lets them know how many meals to cook. So Thursday night is going to be a networking and meet and greet night, right? So they're on the premises, the same premises that Standing University is being held on. We're also having a cookout. Justin Menendez, I always screw that one up. Justin is good enough to offer to cook for everyone. If you were at the Standing University here in Springfield, you already know Justin's cooking prowess because he cooked steaks for everyone that night also. So Justin's cooking this time on site. Cooking dinner for everybody. So by registering, it lets us know how many people are coming, how many people to prepare for. The link is in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, or it's in the comments if you're watching on Facebook. All right. That was a mouthful. Alan says, I'm tired of all the rain. I'm loving the weather. We did get a fair amount of rain. I tell you what, so we got a lot of shipments delayed that were coming through Kansas City because what showed up for rain for us showed up as snow in Kansas City, apparently. So they had a massive snowstorm a couple days ago, and we just got hit with a ton of rain. You're right. I'm ready for the rain to be done. And it sounds like, fingers crossed, we might be getting close to that. Now, we have another cold snap coming through next week, but neither here nor there. It's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be a nice weekend. Casey Ryan, what is up? It should cost money for as much value as the companies receive from it. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Casey. And that's always a conundrum, right? So if you price it according to value of information, you're right. It would be a spendy ticket. But then you price out the people that would really probably get the most out of being there. Someone that is probably not even in the industry yet, is working their way up to it, is maybe working a full-time job, maybe doing it on the side, looking to take that full-time leap. And paying that kind of money for a ticket just isn't feasible in that lifespan of the company. So it's staying free. Yeah. Stevie says, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. That's right. Stevie's on top of this now. Yeah, hit the like button. If you're watching on Facebook, hit one of the other ones. So if you hold down on, or if you hover over like, it'll give you the heart, the laughing, the angry emoji, all these emojis or emoticons. Choose one of those if you don't mind, because Facebook now doesn't even look at the like button anymore. They look at those because it takes a little bit longer to hit one of those rather than just hit like. I think it probably has to do with bots too. It's probably easier for the bots to hit likes and all the rest of them. Let's see who is so far. So Jesse Lloyds gave it a like. Thank you, Jesse. Alan Bolding gave it a heart. Thank you so much. Same thing with Robert Looker. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that a lot. Speaking of Standing University, the man, the myth, the legend, Kenny Dugan's here. Morning, Joe. Excited for next week. Making a stop by Jackson Fence before heading into Alexandria. Love it. Say hello to Cannon for me. I appreciate that a lot. That would be awesome if you would do that for me. Let me know how it goes. Cannon Johnson of Jackson Fence is if you're in any of the fencing Facebook groups, you know exactly who that is. Robert Looker says, hey, how goes it, dude and dudettes? It goes well. Says, hey, Joe, I finally caught up on your podcast. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so if you're not able to listen to the lives or view the lives, we also do, after the lives are done, typically it goes over to a recorded live on whichever platform you prefer to watch on. But we also have the recorded podcast, so that the way I consume content is I listen to audio content, right? So I'll put a podcast on when I leave the house. I've got about a half-hour drive into work. So I've got a half hour on either side of that drive. So on either side of work. So I've got about an hour a day catch up on just the goings on via podcast. So we thought, why not make that available to everyone, especially back when these live Q&As were 2.5 hours. Now, I don't blame you. That it's a long time to sit through 2.5 hours. It's hard for me to sit through an hour of a live that, like, if I'm watching someone else's live and it's an hour, it's tough to sit still and listen to that content. So I definitely understand that. So we created the podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, search Joe Everest, and you should find it there. So, yeah, Robert, appreciate you listening and tuning in, getting all caught up on the podcast. Guys, if you have questions or comments, drop them in the comments below. Today is a completely open live Q&A to where I'm answering any and all of your guys' questions. Also, if you're watching on TikTok, I'm answering your questions as well, giving them kind of a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on for the live Q&A. So eventually, right now, here, I'll introduce you guys. Right now, this is TikTok. This is everybody else. This is YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. But eventually, so this is just on my phone, obviously. We're going to have a bigger iPad. I'm probably going to mount it like somewhere over there. Actually, that would probably be a good spot in that ring light because it's got like a little mounting point already built into it. The technical term is cold shoe, right? Technical term for this thing is cold shoe, where you like slide that in.
Yeah, I guess I could fit a cold shoe. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really long. Yeah, it would probably work.
See, I think that's it is longer than what you'd see on a camera. But see, I remember some things from when I was doing this stuff myself. But anyway, so we're going to put them out there. We're going to put the iPad somewhere here so that TikTok can also join the party until StreamYard gets with the program and adopts TikTok as a platform.
It's actually not StreamYard, it's TikTok, apparently.
Oh, it's TikTok.
TikTok doesn't allow third parties.
TikTok doesn't allow why am I repeating? You've got a mic, right? So they probably heard you.
Yeah, they probably can hear me. Yeah, TikTok doesn't allow third parties.
So TikTok, if I'm talking to like Mr. TikTok or whoever, figure this out. Get with the program with StreamYard so that we can stream to TikTok from StreamYard so I don't have to have another device. That would be fantastic. All right, let's see. Jace is here with us. Morning, Joe. Tail end fencing here. See you at FinTech ? No, that should be exclamation point. Yes, we will be at FinTech. So rolling through the program. So we're going to be at Staining University next week. The week after Staining University, we have a local lawn and garden show. That way, that's just, a local trade show where we get to go out and meet our market. I'm so glad that these events do not overlap this year. Typically they do. I haven't been to a lawn and garden show in 3 or 4 years, just because they always tend to overlap. The Staining University. So this year, one of the two events moved, and I'm grateful for it because now I get to go to both. So next week, Staining University. The week after that, a lawn and garden show here in Springfield, Missouri. If you're in the area, stop by and say hi. The week after that will be FinTech in Oklahoma City. So me and all the team will be there. I say all the team, most of the team. The digital team, I guess, will be there. So myself, Braden, Jeremy, and Sarah is coming along. Sarah's representing Ozark Fence Company. So the three of us will be representing the media company, I guess, and Sarah will be representing the fence company. So we're actually showing up Monday of FinTech to help my salesmen set up their booth. It is massive, very, very large. We're also going to help set up the stage, the stage. I wanted to call it a studio. It's not a studio. It's a stage. I think like ESPN type, Sports Center type live broadcast. It's got like the half moon or half circle table where the interviewers and interviewees, they're going to be sitting at the table. So we're going to be bringing you guys live interviews. I'm not sure. My content will be broadcasting live here. I say here, wherever you're watching. So Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. But Braden, we're actually probably going to have to add the My Salesman page to here as well, because I think they're wanting to broadcast to their Facebook page, I bet.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We've got a few weeks to iron out the wrinkles in that, figure out exactly where we'll be broadcasting. So, we'll be broadcasting here, wherever you're watching right now, we'll be broadcasting there, but we'll probably also be broadcasting because also Dan and Cannon, Tony Thornton are also going to be doing interviews as well. So for those interviews, we'll likely be going live to the My Salesman page, I would think. So we're showing up Monday to help set all that up. We got lights to tear down and take over there. We got video to tear down, take over there, audio, the whole thing. We're basically going to take the majority of the equipment here, take it over to Oklahoma City, get it all set up. So we're going to give ourselves plenty of time. Doors open to the trade show Wednesday, I think like at noon, like Wednesday midday. So if you're there on the first day, come find me. I'll be in the Nationwide Industries booth. And then Thursday, I will be at the My Salesman booth. Friday, I'll likely be at the Expert Professional Wood Care booth. I'll probably be going I'll probably round robin throughout the events as well. We've got a lot of content to produce while we're there. So yeah, if you see me, come up, say hi. But no question marks here, Jason. Exclamation points. I will be there and I'll be looking for you. Robert says, I've been looking into a bunch of different software products, lots of great ones out there, but there isn't a one that does it all. So I'm curious if you have a list of your top performing software or if you're willing to share the ones that you use. You are absolutely right, Robert. There isn't one software that does everything really well. I call it we Frankenstein different softwares together because each one tends to do one thing really well, which is probably okay, right? So we've tried other softwares that try to do everything, but the problem is they do each one thing kind of mediocre-ish. That's not even a word. It might be. I don't know. They don't do any one of them particularly well. They do an okay job on any one of them. So we end up going to best in class for this particular task, go with that software and see if we can't integrate with our other softwares. Now, as technology and software is advancing, the integration becomes easier and easier. We did a video, it was about a year ago, the top 5 softwares I use. Thereabouts.
It was before I was here, so I don't know.
It's over a year ago.
Yeah.
So you're probably right, Robert. It's probably time for a refresher. I don't mind talking about it on the show. So
Did you make more than one?
No, we did one. It was like the top 5 softwares.
The apps that make my running my fence business a breeze was in January 2021.
January 2021. So
2 years ago.
2 years ago we did one. So it's definitely time for a refresher. Hey, so technical pause here. Braden, it was giving me a Wi-Fi low signal. So we might keep an eye on that. I don't know why. We're the only ones here.
On StreamYard it was?
Yeah, on StreamYard it was, yeah.
Stream stuff looks fun.
Okay. So, and this thing it's hardwired in anyway. So why is it giving us a Wi-Fi low? Technical unpause. We'll figure that out later. Technical unpause? I know that's not the word. Yeah, so let's talk about software. So the first one to talk about is kind of hard to talk about. So it is Job Nimbus. It's the one we use the most of. Unfortunately, right now, Job Nimbus isn't onboarding anyone in the fence industry. So they're revising their onboarding process is what it looks like to come on board with the company and get set up. So we joined Job Nimbus back in, I'd have to look, it's 2017, 18-ish. Back really before they were coming into the fencing industry full bore. When I found them, they were more of a roofing software. And I think they still serve the roofing community, but they were more of a roofing software than anything. And then I onboarded with them. The onboarding process was really, we're going to give you access to the software and then show you some videos on how you can set stuff up. But it was a process. It was probably a 6-month process getting everything set up. It was not ready, like out of the box, so to speak. We had to do a tremendous amount of work to set it up. What they're trying to do is they're trying to revise that. So to create, basically like you would come into a basic setup already done, and then you would customize it for your business, because everyone's business is a little bit different. You know, if we had an exact duplicate of Ozark Fence across the street with a different team, they would probably want the software to work a little bit differently because their business would operate a little bit differently. So you would still want to customize it. So nothing will be purely out of the box ready to go, but they're trying to come up with an easier way to onboard fencing companies, which would be a good idea. Cut the onboarding time from 6 months down quite a bit would definitely be a plus. So the first software we use is unfortunately not available right now. Now, if you've already signed up for Job Nimbus, they're not canceling it. They're still letting us use it. They're just not bringing anyone else on. And the analogy I'd heard was, so they're remodeling the house, right? They're not selling the house. They're not tearing the house down. They're remodeling it. They're just not letting anyone else in while the remodeling process is going on. Once they're done, they'll open it back up, and we'll probably make an announcement about it, would be my guess. But yeah, so Job Nimbus is the first one. So we use it right now as a CRM. So CRM. I've seen different definitions of this. Client relationship management or manager is kind of the one I use, or customer relationship manager. I don't know, but it's basically where we'll send proposals. It also has an on platform way of communicating. So onboard emailing that syncs with your existing email, if that makes sense. You send and receive emails from inside Job Nimbus. It also tracks incoming emails. So as long as they have like the job number, it emails out with a job number. If they reply back to it, it saves that job number. And so it sorts it into their job file. Really slick. Keeps all the communication in one place so that, we've got a team that looks at this, whether it's Sarah in sales or Shell is in like call center. So first line calls. I handle some of the project management with Sarah and with Scott, on our infield supervisor. So we've got a few people that can all have visibility into what emails were sent, what was said in the emails, what was asked for, to make sure we deliver on exactly what they want, which is pretty nice. So communication, we're sending proposals out right now. However, we're working with another company to really dial in our proposal process. That is an area Job Nimbus does okay at. It will get all of the technical data you need and package it up. It just doesn't look as polished as you'd see somewhere else in, like, for example, like an ArcSite, right? That gives a really nice drawing, a really nice presentation. So we're working on getting that set up. We're also, the company we're talking to is also talking about integrating with Job Nimbus, which would be even nicer. We use Company Cam. So let me take this. Well, I'll just bring this up. So we use Company Cam for all the pictures. Now, Job Nimbus does have a photo ability, so it'll store photos in it. It'll let you take it from the Job Nimbus app. Company Cam is the best in class as far as photography software goes. So we go with them because they can also do before and after overlays, which is really slick. The photos we can put labels on for, if this is a pre-stained cedar or if this is a black coated chain link, we can sort all this out. If it's a repair or what, we can label it so that, if Sarah's looking for marketing content, marketing pictures and now video. So now the top tier plan in Company Cam, you can record 4K video on. So if she's looking for a video on a project walkthrough, or if she's looking for finished product photos of a pre-stained cedar fence pre-stained with chestnut tone stain, say, she can click on the relevant labels and it will give her all of the photos. She can download them with one click, so that then if she's wanting to create like a portfolio to send to a client, it's pretty easy. We can also do project reports, which is what I was doing this past week with the software. So we have a project manager, or we have a owner who is out of the area, out of town owner. We have a project management company here in Springfield that contracted with us to do 7 or 8 of the houses with different materials, just materials in keeping with each neighborhood. They're kind of spread throughout the region. So we had Springfield and Republic and Nixa and Ozark. So what we would do is then we took Company Cam to generate project completion photos reports, to where then we could bundle all of the photos for that particular address into one report. It creates a really nice PDF that then we send to the project manager to send to the owner, saying, hey, here are pictures of the completed fence. One, to say we did it. It shows who took the photos. So Scott, it says Scott took the photos this day, this time, at this address. It's got geotagging in it as well. That way the customer knows everything's on the up and up. Everything's completely transparent. So that when we tell them we started on this day, we can show them project start photos. We can show them mid completion photos. We can show them fully completed photos, generate a report, email that out. We get really good feedback on that. So for photography, Company Cam, the base package really isn't very expensive at all. It wasn't really even on our budget. So it was affordable is my point. So far we're talking about Job Nimbus. We're talking about Company Cam. Oh, we haven't even talked about my salesman. That's the first step. Sorry, getting a little bit dry in here. So my salesman is the software that we use as a pre-qualifying tool, but also basically a mandatory first step. So if a customer comes to Ozark Fence and says, "Hey, I'd love to have a fence built. Could you guys come right out and let me know what it would cost?" Well, Mr. Customer, and we've got a kind of a script that goes along with this that we would follow, but basically says, since the pandemic, we've modified our sales process to be safe both for you and also for our team. It's also led to more 5-star reviews than anyone in our area. Could we share it with you? Yep, absolutely. So then we walk them through. We've got this online quote tool. It sits on the top of our website. If you click it, enter your address, it will actually pull up a satellite image of your house that for our area is pretty recent. So we got the kids a trampoline Christmas before last, I guess. Yeah, not just a few months ago, Christmas, a year and a few months ago. I pulled our address up, the trampoline's there. So it's a pretty recent photo of our yard, a satellite image of the property. You can actually click exactly where you want that fence to go. You can drop in any gates you would like, and then you would choose the material you'd want to use. And actually, one nice feature of the tool, you could actually choose a couple different types of material to get a range on, well, if I wanted cedar materials on steel posts, here's where my price would be. If I wanted treated pine materials on treated pine posts, here's where that price would be. And then once you found a product that fits your budget, you can submit that straight to us. Now, here's the thing, guys. On the back end, the measurements are very, very accurate. They're very close. It's like 1 foot over 100, which for us, that's accurate enough. I mean, let's be honest. If we're taking a measuring wheel and bumping it around somebody's backyard, it's probably in that same margin of error, right? It's probably going to be less than 1 foot over 100, but it's not going to be a lot less. It's close enough for us is what I'm saying. So then they would submit it. We would have a quick phone call just talking about the project. Is there anything weird about the project? Is there anything odd about the backyard? Is there anything that you're looking at the same satellite view I am? Is there anything in your yard now that doesn't show up on that? Did you get a new shed, or is there a pool in the yard? Is there anything odd that we need to know about? And then we talk about the materials they want to use, their timeline, which is important. And then we can generate a proposal based on those measurements. 9.9 times out of 10, it's accurate. It's very, very close. So it's within our margin of error is my point. Then once they accept, we'd send them so once they accept, they go back into Job Nimbus. On the back end, we enter them back into Job Nimbus. The proposal's already sent through Job Nimbus. We can then send the contract, the invoice for deposit through Job Nimbus. The contract, it can have an electronic signature, like a registered IP signature. That goes out. Once that comes back, then we schedule the on-site with them. So once we have a signed contract and a deposit, we'll go out, meet with them, confirm measurements just to make sure nothing super crazy. Like I said, 9.9 times out of 10. The 0.1 time is they want to add fence to it. So they say, well, and we bring the drawing with us. So we show it going to the back corners. Yeah, I'd really like it to go forward to the windows, to enclose a window or right to split some windows, whatever it is. I'd like it to go a little bit forward, maybe to enclose the crawl space access. Okay, we can talk about that. We can do a change order. I still committed to doing this fence for this money. That doesn't change anything. I can provide a change order for the extra 8 foot it might cost to go up to the windows. That would be the 0.1 out of the 9.9 out of 10 times that it's not accurate. Is usually the customer's changing something. So my salesman we use for a pre-qualifying tool. Again, it's incredibly reasonable. They're underpriced for what it is, for the value that we're getting. And I always tell them, like, don't change our price, but for the value that you're putting out, you probably should raise your prices. So my salesman goes into Job Nimbus. Then we use Company Cam to take. So when we're doing that on-site walkthrough, we're taking photos of the property beforehand. We're putting flags in the yard. We're taking photos of that to show exactly where the fence is planning on going. We'll do a video walkthrough. That way the guys understand. The guys can watch the video and understand, hey, here's how we're lining up this gate. Here's exactly where it goes. If there's any oddities, if there's any notes, we'll put those in the video as well. So when the crew's on their way to the job site, they've got an iPad that has both Job Nimbus and Company Cam on it. So they're watching the video of the walkthrough. So by the time they get there, they've seen all the photos. They know what to expect. They've watched the video. They know exactly what they're coming into. They know what to watch out for if there's utilities or, a customer request, or a neighbor request. They know exactly what they're getting into. So We use those. On the back end, we use QuickBooks to do all of the accounting. So the invoice obviously gets put in Job Nimbus. Job Nimbus integrates with QuickBooks. It can push that information over, create the sales receipt with the liability. So customer deposits are absolutely a liability. They're not income yet because we haven't earned the money. The customer could cancel the project, and our contract lets them cancel the project with no penalties. There are contracts out there that require a handling fee or a restocking fee. That can all be handled, but understand that until you install the fence, the deposit is a liability. It's not income yet because you could have to give that money back, a portion or all of it. So QuickBooks handles all that. At the end of the project, Job Nimbus will issue an invoice. Now, we also accept payments through Job Nimbus. They have a payment processor built in to where the customer would pay the fee if they pay with a credit card. That is allowed in Missouri. I know other states it is not allowed. You'd have to figure that out. If your state allows that or not, ours does. So it'll charge a convenience fee to process the credit card. And then once all that's done, it'll deposit the money into the bank account. All that is constantly synced with QuickBooks. So it shows the invoice being entered. And then as the payment comes through, it'll show the payment being entered. It'll show the payment being cleared because typically there's a couple day processes between them accepting the payment and then dispersing it to our accounts. So My Salesman, Job Nimbus, Company Cam. We're working with a proposal software right now, building it out. QuickBooks. Did I miss anything, Braden? Does that sound about right?
I think that sounds good.
Sounds pretty comprehensive. It sounds like we need to do another video. If it's been a couple years on since we've done what software are we using video. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that question. That was a great one. Let's check in with TikTok and see who is here, who's got any comments. What's up, Texas Dude 66? What's up, Tyler Lee 91? If you guys are watching, have any questions about fence, drop those in the comments below. All right. Michael Taylor, what's up, buddy? Says, can't wait to see you. Bam. What's up, Bam Bam? Robert Looker says, can you post a link? Which one, Robert? Which one are you on? Oh, maybe the video. Let us know which link. We can absolutely drop you a link to whichever software we like using. Alan says, you and Dan Blanc just made a video about software a few months back, right? We talked about it on the live. I don't know if we did. Dan
went through his list of software he uses, but
that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good call. So Dan was on one of the lives where we went through a list of his softwares. Absolutely. I was trying to think, did we co-produce content? I don't think we did, but it's not a bad idea. Yeah. So that was probably, what do you think that was, a month ago, maybe, in the lives? So
probably more than that.
You can go to our YouTube channel. Playlist is live Q&A. Search for Dan Blanc's last video with me. He went over that. And then also, you can watch it in its entirety there. And then we did link in the comments section. We did link his Google sheet of all the software he uses.
It's 2 months ago.
2 months ago. Time flies when you're having fun. Fence Vlog says, what's up, fam? What is up, Fence Vlogs? You should be receiving your palm nailer soon. So we verified that Nationwide has your information now. So they will be sending you the palm nailer that you won during the live Q&A with Nationwide Industries. Same Q&A that I received this little surprise here, that Fence Expert jersey. So when we're down at Nationwide Industries, if you guys watch the show, you saw me. I head down there. Actually, that's probably this week's video, isn't it? Stay tuned on Monday. You'll see our trip down to Tampa to see Nationwide Industries. We did a warehouse walk. We did a lot of talks with the team there. Actually, one of the videos that came out this week, the video that came out this week was reviewing the chain link latch that Nationwide puts out. So you should check it out. The zip latch system. I think this is a latch that is really going to do well for them. I think it's a latch that the DIY crowd will really jump onto because you can install it with common tools found around the house. But also for fencing professionals, it is a solid option for pools that have chain link fences. And I know chain link fences around pools is a constant discussion. Different areas have different codes that either allow it or don't allow it. But if you're in an area that does allow it, the zip latch is a top pull latch that you can lock, but it's not a magnetic latch. Cost savings. Also, you don't have wear and tear, and a wear and tear item that will wear out at some point in the future. So, yeah. So anyway, long story short, fence vlogs, your palm nailer will be coming. Boyding says the before and after. Also, the showcase feature is awesome. I agree. In company cam, those two features sold us originally on the software. And then we got to know the reports, all the other features we use for it. But the showcase feature is really slick. The before and after. So shooting before and after photos is incredibly difficult if you want to do them really right, where you can do a split photo where one half of the photo is fence not there, the other half is fence there, or fence staining it looks really well. Half of it is fence unstained, the other half of the photo is fence clean and fully stained. Well, to get those two to line up, it's incredibly difficult to get them to get the perspective correct, to get the distance from the fence correct, staying in exactly the right spot. It's tough until we found the before and after feature on company cam, which basically, so you would take a before photo. When you go to shoot the after photo, you would tell it, hey, I'm shooting a before and after. Here's the before photo that I want to shoot an after for now. And it will put a ghost image, like an overlay on your screen of exactly that photo. So you can line it up exactly how you need to get lined up. You can change your perspective. You can step in, step out. You can get exactly where you need to line this photo up exactly, and then take that after photo. Now, Company Cam also has a before and after feature to where it'll automatically sync those. It's got a couple different layouts that you can choose from. It's pretty slick. Before and afters were the bane of my existence before I found Company Cam, just because they're tough to get really right. And if you're marketing with those photos, you want them to be really right, and it's kind of tricky to figure out exactly where you're standing. You can put a flag in the ground, you can put a stake in the ground, you can put paint on the ground of, hey, this photo was shot here. But with Company Cam, like I said, it gives you that overlay to where you don't have to do that, and you can get it exactly right. Anyway, so yeah, before and after, huge feature. Fence Genius says Fence Genius software is focused on offsite pre-manufacturing. If you're building wood fence, you're building fence panels in place. Why not custom fit panels out of the heat and the mud? Fair point. Robert says, I really appreciate your response. I'm going to have to rewatch and make some notes. Absolutely. And like I said, keep an eye out for future content. That's a video that we can shoot probably pretty quickly to get out there, the top 5 softwares we're using right now. Fence Vlog is out collecting checks. Get that money. It's a great day. Looking forward to Stainless Steel University. As am I. I will see you in a few days. Bo Butler says, hello, Joe. Have you ever tried setting up recurring revenue models, such as yearly maintenance packages or something else creative, or something else to create recurring monthly revenue? We did. So we did on the staining side. So you can buy a maintenance package from us where after we install either a stain fence or a pre-stain fence with one annual fee, with one yearly fee. Now, some people in different areas, they chunk this up into monthly fees too. Totally fine. The customers that we had talked to didn't want to pay a monthly recurring fee. They just wanted to pay an annual fee. So we let them. If someone wanted to pay a monthly fee, we would let them also. It doesn't really matter to us. But we would come out, clean, inspect the fence. So in Company Cam, again, it lets you take all of these photos and it timestamps them also, so that we can see year on year. Each year we're there, we clean the fence, we take pictures of the gates. Gates are operating normally, or we adjust the gates while we're there. The reason we're taking a bunch of photos, though, is if there happened to be an insurance claim, a hailstorm comes through, adjusters might say, well, we think this is previous damage. We think there's a hailstorm through 2 years ago. We think some of this is previous damage, so we're not going to give you the full amount that you may have received. We can provide the photos to say, no, we were in this yard 3 months ago. Here are the photos documenting the condition of this fence. Now, we take them after it's cleaned, so it's looking really nice. Or after 3 years, we typically would reapply the stain. Here's a picture of it in great condition. Now, hopefully that helps out in the insurance adjustment process, if that makes sense. So we're constantly documenting year on year the condition of the fence for a annual fee, creating a little bit of recurring revenue. Now, at Staining University, Caleb's going to talk more about the recurring revenue model that they are generating, and I think I think it's going to change how stains are maintained, but also it's going to change how they're warranted too, I think. So because it ties in with the warranty. Key Dugan says, gotta get a beard trim. Go Chiefs. Yeah, I do too. I need to get in. So my barber's closed on Mondays because that's still a thing in 2023. But Tuesday morning, we're going in for a haircut and a beard trim. In case you were wondering what my personal plan was on my, hair care. But yeah, go Chiefs. Absolutely. We are one day away from Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and I could not be more excited. Robert Looker says, now that I know about Joe, I will not go. What are you talking about, Robert? Won't go where? Where are you not going, Robert? Come see us. I don't know what that means. I probably misunderstood it. Alan Boulding says, geotags are awesome for your SEO as well. Absolutely, they are. So you can set them up, and you can set it up. So Dan has his photo set up to where it puts time, date, and geo stamp on the picture for, if there was a question, the yard condition, right? So take a picture of before the guys get onto it. Maybe the landscape is already a mess. Maybe if we're cleaning the fence, cleaning the roof, cleaning the house, maybe a bush is already brown, which is something that could end up costing you a lot of money if after you clean the house, clean the fence with a bleach type solution, which is unfortunately common in the cleaning industry, it could very well kill this plant or at least brown it out. Well, if you don't have proof that these were the conditions before you started, you're kind of stuck with it. You will end up paying for it. But if you have a photo that has a timestamp, a geolocation stamp, time and date and geolocation, you're pretty well covered. No, Your Honor, this is a picture of before we started, a day before we started, the plant was already in this condition, or the landscape was already in this condition, or whatever the case, right? The concrete on the walkway was already cracked. So our machine driving over it didn't crack it. It was already cracked when we got here, that sort of thing. Geotags are great for that on the picture. Now, what Alan's talking about is the next level of geotagging, which is the geotagging information behind the photo. So the way I picture it is if you had a physical picture. I'm old enough to remember physical pictures. If you had a physical picture, if you were to turn it over on the back, typically our parents would write the name, the year it was taken, where it was taken, who all was in the photo, that sort of thing. So think of geotagging in the background as something like that. Is on the back of the photo, there's all this information, exactly when the picture was taken, the geolocation, the coordinates of where the picture was taken, so that when that picture gets uploaded to Google crawls that data and says, yes, this picture was actually taken in Republic, Missouri. Instead of, a lot of people will try to tag the photo Republic, Missouri, but maybe it was taken elsewhere. So Google gives more confidence to photos that have the geotagging information, and that helps, Alan's point, the SEO. Great point, Alan. Robert says, okay. Robert says, I just learned about you. I'm definitely watching and learning from you, so I'm not going anywhere. Very good. Very good. I was hoping we didn't drive you away from something or something. Robert, welcome to the Fence Fam. We're so glad to have you. Check in with TikTok. All right. So full-time hubby, what is up? Says, watched all your videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. James Zilla is with us. What's up, buddy? Glad you got to join us. What is up, Texas Dude 66? Oh, you're back. Welcome. D Morton 1134. What is up? So if you guys have questions as you're watching, drop them in the comments below. All right. Same thing with you guys. If you guys have questions, we're actually already at an hour. Okay. We'll keep going. I feel like we're only half hour into this thing. So let's see. So Braden has a video queued up I think would be good for us to watch. Let me do this. Present. No, we want to. Now, wait a minute. Present.
Is it different than normal?
Yeah. We got present slides, extra cam. Oh, no, there. Share screen. So it changed a little bit. All right.
Maybe go ahead and do like a brief little intro.
Okay.
Like a video almost.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go ahead and record it.
Yep. All right. So we're actually going to record a little bit of a video.
Yeah, this is what real streamers do all the time. Double
There
up
you
on
go.
content.
You hear that, guys? Braden says we are almost like real streamers, and I cannot be more excited. Should we bring it up and then I do the intro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring it up like this. Wait. So that looks kind of odd. Maybe like this. Okay. So Braden, I've got it. Or you're probably watching. Okay. This is what we want.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. So, but the normal intro, I just want to make sure I get the words right here. The normal intro, I say something like, all right, guys, today's video is titled, and actually I can't see what it's titled. It's titled, but I would say that, and then I would say to watch the full episode and all. So what am I going to say? I just say,
just act like it's a normal reaction. So I'm recording, here and on the camera itself.
But we're just doing like you said, like a 10-minute.
Yeah. Just because it's an hour-long video. Okay. I don't think you want to watch a whole hour-long video.
Yep, you got it.
Just go with it. It's gonna be
All right, guys. Today's video is titled "Massive 175-foot fence install in just 2 days." The week at D&J Projects. If you guys have watched the channel at all, you know I love watching D&J Projects content. Now, this is a big one. I think overall it says it is an hour and 3 minutes. This will not be an hour and 3 minute review. We're going to watch about 10 minutes of this. Braden has it queued up to exactly where he thinks we would like to watch. So, without further ado, let's check it out.
So this pretty much speaks for itself.
Oh, no. Did I do the audio? One of these days I'll be a real streamer and I'll remember this. Can you hear the audio?
Yeah.
You could hear the audio?
Yep, I could.
All right. Starting over. Go back to here. Is that right? Nope. All right. Take two. You guys get to watch this stuff live. All right, guys. Today's video is titled "Massive 175-foot fence install in just 2 days." This week at D&J Projects. So if you guys watch the channel at all, you know I love D&J Projects content. Like them a lot. You guys should check them out as well. Now, this video is like an hour long, so we're actually going to just watch a short snippet, give a reaction to it, and see what you guys think. Without further ado, let's check it out.
Is all being changed, but with timber panels this side. First 1, 2, 3, 4 bays, they're still being timber. We're going to use the lean-to because obviously that's holding up that whole thing. We do not want to be messing with that, so we're going to use those posts. They're absolutely solid. This post here, that is staying. Maybe
this type of fence, I love watching these videos because this type of fence is incredibly interesting to me. So it's a horizontal. Now they'll call these feather edge. So if you're looking top down, so if you took a picket, put it on end, and you're looking from the top down this picket, it is thicker on one side than it is at the other. So such as like a feather or an airplane wing would be, right? So feather edge, and then they're overlap to where the thin edge would overlap the thicker edge of the next picket, and so on. I like this a lot. In the United States, horizontal fencing has really caught on. We're doing a lot of horizontal fencing. This is that, but in pre-made panels. So I think this is incredibly interesting. Now it looks like these might be wood posts or timber posts. Typically they would use, so D&J, if they're doing a new install, would use concrete posts with a channel. So these panels would slide down the channel to where they would be held in place. It's a really interesting way of building fence.
Maybe just going to extend it a little bit taller because the fencing is going to be taller. This post is coming out because that's going to be the concrete post running all the way down. So we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4 bays of concrete. Going to be a bit taller. So we've got to use extra gravel boards to get it taller, get it 6 foot from the.
Now, gravel boards are what? So in the southern United States, you see kickboards used a lot. So it's what we would call a kickboard or a rot board. So in this case, it is a concrete board that's at the bottom that these panels sit on top of. So it gives them a separation layer between the ground, the aerobic zone that typically causes rot, and the wooden fence panel, thus extending the life of the panel.
I say neighbor side, it's actually customer side. Let me just show you. This rockery as well. It's going to pile it up there. So obviously we're taller again. So fencing is going to be sort of this height, 6 foot from ground level. Did that one a few months ago now. Jordan and Ant, Chelsea's Ant. Concrete fencing is going to start from here. Because when you look at the post, we can take that out and then we can put a piece of timber there, get the fencing to match into it. Probably sit a bit further than the concrete, but I'll do a nice little return. And that's why that's staying. Can you see that concrete? It's hunched up into the blocks, and I don't want to take that concrete and then peel that away. Definitely don't want to be doing that, guys. Because of course we don't want this driveway moving. This trellis, that's staying obviously because of this. We've got a climber. Panel's not attached to it no more, it's been detached, but these were going off this. Probably put a timber on the wall somewhere here. Boundary post is there as well, so as long as we're here, and obviously it's already got a timber there, we might attach a timber to it, bring it higher, because this is going to be height-wise around about, say, mortar line, 6 foot, running cross, step, 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 all the way down, running to that concrete post around there. Don't need a...
These are actually this is actually a really good size fence, really good size yards for that area. So a lot of the times when we're watching D&J's content, the yards, or as they would say, the gardens, are much smaller. So it's interesting seeing a much larger yard or garden.
String line for this one, because it's got a slight, ever so slight little curve like this. But yeah, it's going to be a good job. It's a little bit cold today. You can tell that it is winter, January. A little bit colder today. But it ain't going to get done itself, is it, guys? It's not going to get done itself. So let's get the tools. We've got some here, and let's get cracked on.
There's quite a bit of grade change here. Look at the grade change between the neighbor's yard and their yard. So it steps down quite a bit. So that's probably another place they're going to use these gravel boards. So they'll use the gravel boards a lot like we would use landscape timbers or blocks to shore up grade changes. So you see 2 bags of concrete. So it's got a good amount of concrete around it.
So hopefully you can see this, guys. We've got our first post in. That's going to be the height of this bay. Looks tall now, but that is only a 5 foot bay. So when 6 foot comes up, it will running across at 6 foot. I'll just show you from next door. So I'm 6 foot now, and I'm standing pretty close to height of this. It might be slightly taller by a couple inches, but this is the plan, and this is the reason we've done this. We've dropped this post in, 10 foot post size, drop this in. There's going to be gravel boards running across here now, 1, 2. There's going to be a couple gravel boards covering here to cover this gap. Some would say, why did you not just start over here? Well, we've got 6 foot gravel boards, and if we started here, we would be too short over there. So start here, and we've got around about a 6 foot give or take bay, custom panel anyway. Jamie can make it to whatever we need, so that's the beauty of that. But we decided to start with this, make everything fit to height. If we need a panel that's customized a few inches, we can do that. Just need to trim a little bit of this conifer like it already is done. But yeah.
So this shows exactly what I'm talking about. It's got a channel in the post, so the posts are like an H post where the panel would slide in between. Concrete posts are obviously incredibly durable. Now, the trade-off is they're going to be pretty heavy. So that would be the one downside to this style, but longevity would be incredible.
Yeah, we keep cracking on, guys. We'll get this first bay, or the gravel boards in at least, with the magic fingers. These ones right here. So we've done 2.5 here, guys. Reason we've gone 2.5, it's going to step across to level, and then this one's going to step down 6 inches. Didn't want to step down a foot because then it's sort of pointless. So lads have got a panel. They're going to walk the way around there, make it safe, and I'm going to plonk it on top. It's going to sit, I'd say, roughly around about here, guys, 6 inches. But like I say, these two are going to run relatively level to top of post. Done it for the privacy as well. Obviously, that's the whole point of this fence. Don't want to be able to see over, so we're doing privacy. This one's going to step down and then natural step down. It won't be as low as that post down there. It will be a bit taller. But yeah, let's get this in. It's a little bit awkward, as you can see, this one, but we'll get it done either way.
So what's also interesting, they'll build these section by section. So similar to how we would build like an aluminum fence, they would build it section by section. They would set the post, they would insert what they're calling the gravel boards there at the bottom, the fence panel, and then they'll go on the other side, mark their post where it needs to be dug and dig it out. So they won't actually dig all their posts in the beginning, set posts, and then come back and finish it. Kind of interesting to see another process.
Nice and steady on that post, because obviously it's just set. There's the gap that we're on about, guys, around about 6 inches. So it's a nice natural step. Get you on time lapse, we'll get that post in. Look how tight it is to this. We did think about sliding a panel in, getting one made. I mentioned it, didn't I? But look at that. Look how much conifer we'd have to take away. Don't fancy that. So we've gone with a 6-inch option instead.
That would definitely be the like I said, the downside of these is just their incredible weight. I could see if you're doing this full time all the time, that would really start to have an effect on your back, I would think.
So then, as you can see, 2.5 gravel board there, nice and tall. This one is 2 gravel boards like we were planning for, pretty much lining up to the other gravel board. Yes, there's going to be a bit of a drop there anyway. So 1 foot drop round about, oh, I'm pointing at it, it looks good there, round about there. Obviously, this is a 5-foot panel. Decided to do the drop at the conifer, so you can't really see too much of the drop. If we did the drop over there, you would see more, because obviously you can see it from the grass, but we decided to do the drop now. We'd always have to drop, obviously, because we've used an extra 6-inch. Looking nice. Might have to take a few cuts, yeah. We're going to have to cut a little bit of that conifer. So let's get that done now. Let's get the post in. There we have another one, guys.
Wish I had some snappy fingers like that just to snap that post in place. That'd be pretty slick, huh?
1B, 2Bs. Time for this one. Little windy, sorry guys. Just backfilling now on post to height. We were going to run into that, but after having a look at the height difference, we've decided that we're going to put a post in there, concrete post in. It's going to be taller than that post, but it's just going to be next to that post, just so we can keep the height. We didn't want to do a sloper down to that one, because again, you're losing the height there. So we're going to drop this one down as normal, natural steps. It's probably around about there, I'd say. Somewhere around about there. Looking off the ground, we can probably 6 inches, again, pretty much like what we did over there. Drop it down and get it there. Let's get it. I think what we'll do is all, guys, because we haven't got the panel, or we can customize one. We'll get the post and the gravel boards in with Jordan's magic fingers to get the post and the gravel board in. Right there. And there we have it. This post here is way out. So we've made our post right, set it at that, just chucked a bit of rockery from there down it at the moment, so everything stays nice and tight. That can always come out later. It doesn't really need to, so we'll probably just leave it there. But if anyone does want to move that, that can be moved. This customer, or this neighbour, has got a nice free fence as well now. That was for the neighbour to take the hedge out because it's their hedge. hence why the customer's gone in front before previous level fence, and obviously they've gone in on their land. As you can see, the boundary posts, we've been asked just to leave these here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So there's no problems of moved into my garden sort of boundary issues. We don't want no boundary issues with this one. Oh, it's definitely windy, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, nice concrete fence running across. Got some gravel boards for this cut bit here, because this is obviously going to be a timber panel that runs across sort of there. It's going to look a little stranger because we can't put a timber panel to the same height as ours because it'll be too high and there's no gravel board going there. So yes, it's going to look a little bit different because it's two types of fences meeting in the middle, timber to concrete. But we've got to do timber because look, would you fancy putting gravel boards right there? Because I definitely don't. So yeah, I'm just going to do a little cut here, just get that gravel board to sit a bit more flush because it's a bit kicked off at the moment. And then we might put two on there. I'm not sure yet, with like a small timber post behind it to hold it in place. I've not decided yet. Basically only putting something there because I might put rockery there actually to hold it in place. We're only putting something there, obviously, because the timber is going to be somewhere there and there'll be a gap. So yeah, I'll let you know what we do. Concrete's pretty much done. We're ahead of schedule. Need to get these panels out. Hasn't it? Magic fingers on these, mate. Yeah, so the fencing is down. You can't see it because we just cracked on and got stuff done. Heading back to the yard now. Going to empty the van, as you can see there, and then we're going to come back with the panels. It is 1:30. Hopefully we get back for the yard for before 2. Unload for 2:30. Jamie's got the panels done. Come back here, get here for free. Would be very nice because then it gives us about an hour before it gets dark to get this done. Yeah, let's crack on. Get back to the yard.
Well, guys, let me know what you thought about the fence. Definitely a unique fencing style here in the States for us. I'm sure it's very common there, but for us, it's a unique style. I think it's worth looking into. I really had to figure out how those snappy fingers work over there. I need to go maybe take some lessons because that is a lot like magic. Guys, until next time, I'm the fence expert reminding you that good fences make good experts. I'll see you next time.
Fences make good experts.
What did I say?
You said good fences make good experts.
Oh, good fence. Well, let's try that again. I also didn't say I'm Joe Everson. I just said I'm the fence expert. All right. Well, guys, until next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. And I'll see you next time. Bingo. All right. Nailed it after 2 or 3 takes. What is up, TikTok? Ramsey Bruce says, hey, bro, this is awesome. Thank you so much. I do fencing here in Reno and surrounding areas. I love it. Welcome to the TikTok stream. All right, let's catch up on some comments here. I saw a question. John Cummings says, here, let me take this down. There we go. John says, long-time listener, first-time caller. Looking forward to meeting with you next week. Can't wait, John. Looking forward to it as well. Sean wants to know what's the best way to anchor a corner post with an 8-foot gate off of it. You know, that's going to be tough. So typically we don't like to hang gates off corners just because they don't have that support of the fence on the other side. Sean, I'll ask a follow-up. Are we talking about chain link or wood fence? The answers are pretty similar, but yeah, drop a comment below. Are we talking about wood or chain link fence and how tall? Hey, Project Metal Music says, hey, everyone. What is up? It's good to see you in the chat. Fence Vlog says, I love watching the guys at D&J Projects. Couldn't agree more. I like that channel a lot. You guys should check it out. They have great fencing content. They also have like a wide variety of content. So they'll do paving projects. They'll do landscape projects. They built decks in the past. They do like they'll sell rock. They'll sell screen dirt. It's interesting watching all the machinery and equipment. They also make all of the concrete that they use. So they'll make all their concrete posts. They make all their concrete gravel boards. It's incredibly interesting to watch. Alan says, please tell me they will be using a saber saw. Yeah, so Alan's referencing the video that did fantastic on TikTok and is not done superb on YouTube. It's where, no, I believe that gentleman, where was Australia or New Zealand, I believe. New Zealand, referred to a reciprocating saw that a lot of people tried to correct me that the correct name was Sawzall. Sawzall is a product name of a reciprocating saw. I Google reciprocating saw and see what pops up. Or Google Sawzall, and I bet the term reciprocating saw pops up. Anyway, but this gentleman referred to it as a saber saw. Yes, we are calling these saber saws from now on. Robert says, that boggles my mind. I've always done post, frame, then mesh pickets. Yeah, so they'll set the post, they'll build in with their gravel boards, and then set the wood panel on top. That tells them exactly where their next post needs to be. They'll just dig it in place. Now, they hand dig most everything. So if you're bringing in equipment to dig, this process probably wouldn't work as well. But the digging seems to be pretty good over there. Alan says, I love that style of fencing. Very slick. I agree. That feather edge, the horizontal feather edge with that gravel board, I think looks really slick. I think they could be onto something if they dyed the concrete. So you could add concrete dye for like brown or green, or brown would probably be something that would blend in a little bit better. But if you're used to seeing concrete posts and gravel boards every day, if you live there, seeing a brown post might look a little bit odd. So you never know. Yeah, Fence Blog, let's get cracking. They always say that. I love it. Christopher, we were doing so well. The stream was going very well. I was in a good frame of mind. And then this comment pops up. Go Birds. I don't know what birds you're talking about. I know exactly what birds you're talking about, but I'm going to act like I don't. Because, I mean, we all know what's going to happen tomorrow. Patrick's going to come out super healthy. The team is going to look phenomenal. They're going to be attacking from the air, attacking from the ground. It's a multi-threat offense here. That's what and the defense, I mean, you've seen them play. I mean, we know what's going to happen tomorrow, so we don't need any of this go Birds or, I mean, understand like it's your town, so I understand the obligation of saying, well, I have to because I'm from there. I understand, but I think we both know what's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Listen, no one's blocking the ankle. The ankle is going to be super well. It was 2 weeks ago. Have you seen the physical therapy regimen that he's going through? He's fine. He's fine. It was so good seeing you. I'm so glad you came. I really am. All right, guys. We are at about an hour and a half, so we're probably going to start wrapping this thing up. If anyone but Christopher has anything to say, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. TikTok, we're going to be wrapping this up. If any of you guys have any questions, comments, etc. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Any last minute? I don't think so. All right, guys. So we are questionable on live stream next week. I'm leaning towards probably not, but if we find a good place, I mean, it could be, if we find a good place to do it from, there's going to be people there that we could certainly interview. I mean, Caleb will obviously be there. Kenny Dugan's going to be there. Walt Dennis will be there. Like, just here's the problem with you start naming people, you got to name them all. There's going to be a ton of industry experts there on site that we can interview. So yeah, we'll see. We'll play it by ear. Now, the week after next, definitely no live stream because we'll be having the Lawn and Garden show out there, and I will be working the Ozark Fence booth, trying to sell some fence to support this stuff. Anyway. Yeah, so stay tuned. Keep an eye out. Wherever you follow the channel, just keep an eye on the page. We'll let you guys know if and when we're scheduling a Q&A, but it might be a couple-week break. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to let you guys know. Anyway. All right, guys. Till next time, Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you, the good fences make good neighbors. I'll see you the next time.